This week on In the Field, we're going to downtown San Diego for some architecture shooting. Hi everybody, welcome back to In the Field. My name is Scott Davenport and thanks for joining me. So this week I went to San Diego downtown, and this is primarily a scouting expedition. I hadn't been downtown in a while, and I wanted to shoot some of the architecture of the city. And so I headed down early in the morning, so there's not a lot of people around, have more freedom to walk through things. Just really spent a lot of time walking and looking at things, and a lot less with the camera, as it turned out. But as I got to one end of the harbor, there is this nice pedestrian bridge. It was built within the last 10 years that connects the harbor front with the baseball field, Petco Park down there. And that was lit up really nicely. The sun hadn't even come up yet. And so I set up and took a bunch of shots. And well, let's take a look on the maps where we are, and then a little bit of footage from my walk around downtown. Here's San Diego downtown. And for this shoot, I did not bother with checking sunrise direction and so forth. I knew it would generally be to the east because it always is, but this was a scouting trip for me, so I really didn't care too much where the sun was going to come up. I did spend most of my time in this area here. This is the San Diego Convention Center, and so there's some really interesting architecture here, nice repeating patterns in some of the halls. There's this almost looks like sails covering a portion of the building. There's some nice statues and some of the artwork in some of the grounds here. Obviously, you've got the ships in the harbor. And at the end of my walk, I came to the pedestrian bridge here. So I had gone through the convention center, walked around through some of the streets of downtown, around the ballpark, and came back across this bridge. And I really liked the swoop of the bridge. And so I went up to the top of this parking structure. Let me switch to the 3D mode here. And that's a little better. And so, sitting up along this edge, getting a view of the bridge, and then, having downtown span beyond it. I'm not sure how much I can rotate here on the map, but something like this, where I'm lower on the ground, so I didn't get to see into the ballpark. But there's this nice bridge swooping through the foreground, and then you've got some interesting, buildings and city, the skyline happening in the back. I'm at downtown San Diego this morning, and I'm wandering through the convention center. It's much quieter than a normal bustling day, which is kind of nice. And it's a little before sunrise, so the sun hasn't come up and lit up the sky yet. But taking some actually out of focus work for downtown, just playing with the different lights and seeing what they do. But, yeah, a little departure from what I'm normally shooting, but having a bit of fun. I've walked down along to the Millennium Bridge, which connects the harbor side of downtown to Petco Park in the background. I'm going to take a few shots here on the bridge, wander along the other side. As the sky starts to brighten up, maybe some of the lights in the stadium will play a little well. There's a little cloud movement in the sky that's not coming through in the video here. And yeah, just again, sort of, I guess, turning into more compositional experimentations, framing up things and coming down another time when conditions are better. Again, hard to see on the video, but the clouds are breaking up just a little bit, so some of the pre-dawn blue hour is starting to peek through. So I'm going to hang around this spot for a little bit longer and see if some of that nicer color moves into my frame above the stadium here. One other thing I'm watching for too is street traffic. So as cars move through, everyone seems to be making U-turns. I want them to drive through the frame. I can grab a few shots that'll get some streaks of light, and those might blend into this image nicely as well. As far as a takeaway image from this outing, there's one I did of the bridge connecting over to the baseball park that I like. I like the composition of it. I think I would have liked it to be done at a different time of day when there's a little more traffic. I was able to get some trails of the headlights and a little bit of brake lights through the frame and to fill in this lower left quadrant. But it just wasn't busy enough at the early hour that I was there. The sky was looking really cool, but the Yeah, the traffic levels were pretty low. I could see this at a different time of day with more hustle and bustle type feel, maybe even pedestrians moving back and forth across the bridge. So for a tip of the week, there really isn't a tip this week. Maybe the tip is just scouting a location, and that's a good thing to do. If it's someplace that you have the opportunity to visit multiple times, going down on one occasion, walking around, taking a few snaps, figuring out what might be good and what might be good at a different time of day or a different season. Just doing a little bit of scouting, a little bit of legwork, and having fun with it as well. That is all for this week in the field. Thanks again for joining me. If you have a question, I would love to hear from you. You can contact me through my website. That also has all the links to my various social media presences. So reach out, have a question. Please, please, please ask. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks again, and I'll see you again real soon.